Hi, welcome back to the bookshelf of timeless classics from the Daily Better, a channel dedicated to sharing personal growth insights through great books. Today's video is a reflection inspired by the classic novel The Alchemist, titled Where Does True Motivation Come From? Let's dive in together. In our 20s, many of us find ourselves wondering, what is my dream? What do I truly want to do? Then, by the time we're 25, we start asking, have I really tried hard enough to achieve that dream? Is this the path my heart truly wants to follow? And when we hit 30 once again, we lower our heads and ask, if I still haven't made my dream come true, is now the time to finally begin? If you're still feeling lost in life, still living with an unsettled heart, then spending just 2 hours with the 225-page book, The Alchemist might help you find your answer. The Alchemist has been published for over 30 years, translated into 81 languages, and sold in more than 170 countries. In Brazil, its fame stands alongside God and football. Why is this book so influential? Because when we read it, each of us can somehow see a reflection of ourselves within its pages. The story follows a young shepherd named Santiago who, in pursuit of his dream, doesn't hesitate to sell his entire flock, his entire livelihood. Through countless hardships, he chases his dream of finding treasure in the desert. It's a fable, a story told in the simplest way, yet it has touched the hearts of hundreds of millions of readers. And it is also the author's own spiritual journey. At 17, Paulo Coelho, the author, was rebellious and was sent by his parents to a mental hospital. As he grew older, he was even imprisoned for opposing a dictatorship. At 38, it seemed as though he hadn't achieved anything yet. So he embarked on a solo pilgrimage, walking nearly 600 kilometers to Santiago, Spain. That journey lasted over 3 months and slowly calmed his restless heart. He poured everything he learned and felt during that trip into the story of the shepherd boy searching for treasure, Santiago. After The Alchemist was published, it lit a spark in the hearts of countless people feeling lost and adrift. Paulo Coelho became the only Latin American writer often compared to Gabriel Garcia Marquez, author of the legendary 100 Years of Solitude. The Alchemist tells us that a life without purpose is nothing more than a chaotic maze. Anyone who walks into it ends up spending their entire life just wandering in circles, searching endlessly for a way out. If you care too much about gains and losses, you'll forever miss out on your dreams. Santiago was born into a modest family in Spain. His parents relied solely on a few square meters of farmland to survive. From the moment he was born, they placed all their hopes in him. They sent him to a seminary with the hope that one day he would become a priest, a source of pride for the entire family. Being a priest would promise a stable life, but that wasn't what Santiago truly wanted. One day, he gathered all his courage and told his father that he didn't want to become a priest. His dream was to travel the world, to explore and learn about life beyond the village. Although his father strongly opposed the idea, he eventually realized that he could not stop someone whose heart was already set. In the end, he compromised, handing his son 3 gold coins and saying, "Buy some sheep and live the life you truly want." Those 3 gold coins weren't just a compromise, they were a quiet affirmation, a heartfelt resonance. For deep down, his father too had once dreamed of journeying across distant lands. In The Alchemist, every character has a dream of their own. Santiago's father once longed to travel. A street vendor selling popcorn had always dreamed of going to Africa. The owner of a crystal shop had yearned to make the pilgrimage to Mecca. Even the thieves near the pyramids, they too dreamed of chasing treasure, just like Santiago. But for many reasons, crushed by the weight of reality, they gave up their dreams and were left only with quiet regret. Whatever those reasons may have been, they always came down to the same thing, the weighing of gain and loss. That kind of calculation clouds the original desire, dims the light of the dream that once burned so brightly within. If we lack courage, if we aren't fiercely determined in our hearts to pursue what we truly want, we'll never step beyond the safe little box that surrounds us. But Santiago did. He broke free from the constraints of comfort and familiarity. He left his homeland, became a shepherd, and chose a life he truly desired. Over 2 years, he learned all the skills of a shepherd. He witnessed breathtaking landscapes and met countless people along the way. He thought perhaps this was it, this peaceful, wandering life might be all he needed. But then, like a whisper from the universe, a dream came to him 2 nights in a row. In it, a boy led him to Egypt and told him that a treasure awaited him nearby. What could this dream mean? Soon after, he met an old man known as the King of Salem who told him that this dream was no coincidence. It was his destiny. The treasure was tempting, yes, but the life he was living felt far more tangible. Santiago hesitated. To search for the treasure would mean giving up everything he'd built. Like so many others before him, he almost lost himself to doubt. But if you care too much about the risk of loss, you might end up forfeiting what's truly meant for you. As the King of Salem told the young shepherd, what we call destiny is simply what we truly want to do. That one sentence awakened something in Santiago. Wasn't it his lifelong dream to see the vast world beyond? Listening to his heart, he once again chose to follow his dream. You need to understand perhaps the cruelest illusion in life is when we surrender to the present. Bow our heads and say, well, it's too late. This must be my fate. I have to accept it. But the truth is, no. Destiny should never be something that leaves you in regret. Destiny is what you truly, deeply desire. People often wonder, do we regret more the things we didn't do or the things we did? According to research, when it comes to things we have done, even if they end in failure, most of us only feel temporary disappointment. Over time, we learn to justify or accept those choices. But the things we truly wanted to do but never pursued, they haunt us. We mull them over day after day, regretting them for a lifetime, unable to forget, unable to make peace with ourselves. As one writer once said, because we refuse to take that first step, our dreams remain forever out of reach. Dreams are fragile, they won't wait forever, and they are easily frightened by hesitation. It's just like red-hot steel in a blazing fire, only when forged in the right moment can it be shaped into something strong. But once it cools, it becomes stiff, unyielding. So when that quiet, long-forgotten dream inside you begins to stir, act. Take the first step while your passion still burns. Even if, in the end, we don't reach the destination, the journey, the daily effort and growth will shape us into someone better than we were before. What knocks you down only demands greater determination from you. On the journey to pursue our dreams, not everything will go smoothly. In the early days of his time in Africa, Santiago experienced this firsthand. He was hit by 2 heavy blows in a row. First, he faced a language barrier. Then he met someone who spoke Spanish. Thinking he had found a trustworthy friend, Santiago let his guard down only to be completely robbed by that very man. Just the day before, Santiago's future had seemed bright and full of promise. But now he was left penniless. He nearly broke down in that moment. Just recently, he'd had 60 sheep, and now, nothing. Alone and exhausted in a foreign land, Santiago felt lost. In that dark moment, he remembered the words of the King of Salem. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. Those words filled him with new confidence and a spark of courage. The next day, he packed his things and wandered the streets in search of an opportunity. Life sometimes strikes us down, but sometimes it also offers us hope and faith. As long as you have sharp eyes to see what needs to be done and a heart willing to help others, you'll find your way. Santiago came across a small crystal shop on a quiet street. Business there was sluggish. Observing the situation, he suggested to the owner, the glassware should be spotless if they want to attract more customers. He offered to polish every crystal item in exchange for just one meal. Even before the owner agreed, Santiago had already picked up a piece and began to clean. And to their surprise, right after he started, 2 customers walked in to buy. That small act of initiative earned him a job. But the dream of reaching Egypt still lay across thousands of kilometers of desert. A few days of work at the shop wouldn't even make a dent in the cost of that journey. Sometimes, when you chase a dream, the most discouraging moment is when you've worked tirelessly for so long, only to realize that your dream is still far, far away. Santiago felt this discouragement deeply. Still, he stayed at the crystal shop. He put his dream on pause and focused on earning money. Over time, he had bright ideas to improve the business and increase profits. After a year, Santiago had earned twice the amount of money he had originally started with. More than that, he'd learned the ins and outs of running a business and even picked up the Arabic language. For someone whose heart is lit by the clarity of a true dream, obstacles and hardships are no longer seen as punishments or injustice. They become trials, training grounds for personal growth, and stepping stones to maturity. Letting go is the only way to reach the shore of your dreams. At this point, Santiago once again stood before a choice. He could either stay and live a wealthy, comfortable life from his crystal business, or he could continue the journey to pursue his dream. The crystal merchant tried his best to persuade Santiago to stay, but in Santiago's ears the words of the King of Salem echoed clearly. You must always remember what it is you truly want. So, he let go of the riches right before him and chose to keep chasing his dream. He never forgot that the purpose of his journey was to reach Egypt and seek out the treasure. And so, he set off once more across thousands of kilometers of desert. Eventually, he arrived at a small oasis, and there he met a beautiful girl named Fatima. The moment he looked into her eyes, his heart rippled with waves of love at first sight. After spending time with her, Santiago fell deeply in love, so much so that he even considered giving up his dream to stay in the oasis with her forever. But the dreams of the alchemist began to stir inside him again. They awakened the part of him that was slipping away, the part that remembered his mission. To abandon his dream would mean living with a lifetime of regret, and the one he loved would also carry the weight of knowing he had given up everything for her. After reconnecting with his own heart, Santiago made a firm decision. He would continue chasing his dream. He would go to Egypt. Someone once said, "To truly live, you must learn how to let go. Only those who are willing to release what's comfortable can grasp what's meaningful." If you're not willing to let go, you'll never receive. Every person who has achieved something great has known how to give up comfort, how to delay fleeting pleasures, all to pursue the one true calling burning inside their heart. True motivation always rises from the fire burning within. As Santiago continued his journey to seek the treasure in Egypt, he encountered countless great challenges. While crossing the desert, he was captured by a military camp and had all his money taken away. Then came an impossible ultimatum. He was told he had 3 days to become the wind or he would be killed. Faced with this seemingly impossible task, Santiago kept his spirit strong. He poured all his love, all his heart into connecting with the sun and the wind. He reached out to the soul of the world, trying to understand the language of the universe. With encouragement and inspiration from the alchemist, he dared to challenge the impossible, and in the end, he became the wind. But when he finally arrived at the pyramids, he didn't find the treasure. Instead, he was beaten and robbed by thieves who took all his gold. Yet from the words of one of the thieves, Santiago discovered the true location of the treasure. It was back in his homeland all along. When you have a dream that lives deep within your heart, no amount of hardship or struggle can break you. As Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." The author of this story also confesses, Only when you have the power to pursue your dream does life become truly exciting. Each of us holds infinite potential, and the pursuit of our dreams, though filled with challenges, also carries immense joy. Your dream may or may not come true, but in chasing it, you will discover happiness, true fulfillment, and you will become a better version of yourself. Just like Santiago, he crossed oceans and deserts, traveled from one place to another, completed a full circle, and only then did he find the treasure back where it all began. It may seem like a waste of time, but in reality, the things he saw, the people he met, and the lessons he learned along the way gave his life rich and lasting meaning. Even if Santiago had never found the treasure, the life he lived through the journey was already extraordinary. Every twist and turn became a part of his growth, shaping the person he became. Life is not defined by the days we merely exist, but by the days worth remembering. Dear friends, please remember, if you have a dream, you must pursue it. Never give up on the dream inside your heart. No matter how unrealistic it may seem, keep it in the warmest place of your soul. No one can stop you from living the life you want except you. You must believe that all true motivation comes from the fire within you. Believe that there is no tomorrow you cannot reach. In the rest of this life, may each of us have the courage to face the truest desires of our heart, to move boldly toward our dreams, to take full responsibility for our lives, and to let them shine. Thank you for listening to The Daily Better, a channel dedicated to sharing personal growth insights through great books. If you found today's video helpful, please share it with someone who might need it. Support us by clicking like, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss our weekly uploads. And if you have any thoughts or feelings to share, drop them in the comments below. Thank you, goodbye, and see you in the next video.